Hi everyone, I'm Tanya Schulte with the Profit Constructors, where we are helping you run with the big dogs. Welcome back. We're in the middle of a 4-part series on job budgeting. In part 1, we busted the myths about job budgets. Now we're going to show you how to build one the right way. We mentioned in the first video that one of our favorite tools is Knowify. So today I'm going to walk you through how to build a job budget in Knowify. Here's a pro tip. When you're setting up your Knowify account, make sure that you default to being allowed to select a job costing style, and we suggest that your default job costing style is professional. That's because every bit of what we're teaching here is about how to budget, and in Knowify, if you're using the professional style of job costing, that means you're always going to start with a budget, and again, that's our recommended approach. Okay. Too often we see contractors just copy a budget from past jobs, tweak a few numbers and roll with it. But that approach is going to leave money on the table. Let's take a look at a little better way to do it. But before we do, let's talk about the danger of those recycled budgets. Recycled budgets may not reflect current labor or material costs. They are definitely going to ignore job-specific complexity. They might carry forward past mistakes, and they won't always account for any updated markup or margin strategies that we may have made in our business. So let's take a look at how we want to create a budget in Knowify. So once we've got our job set up and we've said we want to start with that professional style, we can use a template, and we could do a whole other video series on how to set those up. And we do recommend using templates, which again is totally different from copying and pasting from an old budget. A template is a way of helping you to not forget anything. So we do definitely highly recommend doing that. But let's just go ahead and set up a job budget from scratch. So one of the things that Knowify does allow us to do is it allows us to break everything down into 5 buckets. And we recommend definitely using every one of these 5 buckets: labor, materials, subcontractors, equipment, and miscellaneous or other costs. If every job is budgeted with those 5 buckets clearly defined, it's going to help you see exactly where your profit is made or lost. Are we making or breaking on materials? Did we under budget on labor? That type of thing. So in Knowify, we're going to go to Plan and Track, and we can enter all of our information. We can enter a detailed material list or material quote, so we're not relying on past costs. We can use our current vendor pricing, so we're staying accurate. We can add labor hours, and in Knowify, we're allowed to build a burdened labor rate that's going to include wages, payroll taxes, benefits, and more. Definitely relevant here. We can enter subcontractor costs. Okay, we're not lumping those into labor. That's important for all kinds of reasons. And workers' comp, 1099 tracking. We want to make sure we're keeping our subcontractors separate from our direct internal labor. And we can use Knowify's equipment section to track both our internal equipment and do some burden costing on that, or our external equipment that we're renting, such as equipment, forklifts. I said equipment, right? That's a good idea. We should track external equipment here, like equipment. But we can think about this as like forklifts, backhoes, porta potties even, tools, whatever's relevant to your particular business model. And all of our indirect costs like permits, dumpsters, delivery fees, things like that, we can keep under that miscellaneous section. All right, pro tip, you may have seen me do this. I went ahead and created a phase here. It's a really good idea to break your job into phases. So depending on, again, on your business model, that could be like framing, drywall, roofing, or if you're a trade contractor that just does one specific trade, it could be something like underground rough-in and trim, right? But this is going to help you spot where costs are blowing up, where things are going wrong. And again, trends. One of the major benefits of doing this whole job budgeting thing is to spot trends and to give us a good idea of where things tend to go wrong or right in our business. And breaking this into phases is going to provide us better forecasting for our WIP reports and cash flow. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you go back and watch our last series all about WIP reporting. And we've talked about cash flow in the past as well. All right, when you build your budget with real numbers, your burdened labor rates, fresh material quotes, you're building a job plan that protects your profits from the start. See you in the next video.